Hello world, welcome. Welcome to part 3 of Living in Eternity. In this episode, we will learn how to become the witness to every thought form, witnessing their rise and fall within us, letting them pass through us without feeling them, allowing them to complete their life cycle in us, and using them to point us towards the spaciousness of eternity where everything exists in. They will be our guide to our awakening, regardless of how hard they fight to prolong their lifespan, regardless of how intensely they resist their return back to the infinity of awareness from where they came from, the same infinite awareness in which eternity uses to express its infinite self. The same infinite self within us that enjoys to play in the playground of eternity, an eternal playground of nothingness that is in everything, an eternity where the unmanifested expresses itself through the manifested, an eternity that is the non-dual origin of duality. All that is subject to impermanence belongs to eternity. It is the genesis and extinction of every thought, every emotion, every experience, and most importantly, it is the beginning and the end of the born expression of the separate self we have perceived ourselves to be. It is the natural life cycle of the born existence, the born returning to the unborn, the finite self dissolving itself back into the infinite. We can wait until physical death or return while alive, while we are still here in a physical expression of the non-physical. The choice is ours to make. To die before we die is to live in eternity. To live through the eternal, unborn nature of whom we are is what a true awakening is about. Awakening our dormant self and entering into eternity. An entrance only accessible in the spacious stillness of the here and now. A here and now only available when we learn to accept life by welcoming life as it presents itself to us in the eternal here and now. A here and now indiscriminately open to all here and now. So let us enter into eternity by welcoming life in its totality, welcoming the eternal here and now of life as life presents itself to us. Let's begin to welcome life by welcoming every thought, every emotion, every experience. Let's allow life to be as it is, without resistance, in complete surrender, and the eternal nothingness of who we are will be ours to experience as inner aliveness, as spacious stillness, as vast emptiness, an emptiness of nothingness where everything exists in. By doing so, we will become the witness to all that is impermanent within us, all returning to where it came from, exiting our awareness without leaving a trace in us of their brief existence, allowing us to be free, to enjoy life, to experience eternity as eternity, to exist in the spaciousness of our eternal here and now. So when our next thought rises, attempting to assume full control, let's become the witness of it, a witness to its idealistic and dualistic existence of birth and death, by placing our awareness on the eternal space it is temporarily inhabiting, refusing to prolong its lifespan by neglecting it of its fuel source, the fuel source of resistance that breathes life into every thought. This lack of interest to give it life by fueling it through resistance will allow its life cycle to complete. Just as it arose, it will return to where it came from. By repeating this practice, we will begin to gain access into the spaciousness of the eternal unknown within us, the eternal unknown in us that can only be accessed through the eternal here and now, a here and now that is always present, always ongoing, and never changing, a here now that is what we are, and what we are has infinite access into the eternal unknown within us through the infinite here and now. So let's take that first step. Let us see where it takes us. Let's begin to welcome life as it presents itself to us. This is the gateway into the eternity of whom we are. It is what must be done if we long for eternal presence, if we long for spiritual enlightenment. It is what is calling us. It's the first step into the awakening we've spent countless lifetimes seeking. Fortunately, we have plenty of opportunities to go there, to find what we've been looking for, to experience what we've been longing to experience. Countless opportunities every single day to explore eternity, to enter into the empty spaciousness of the eternal self within, and become the witness of the birth and death of all that is born within us. This is the state of alive, spacious awareness my words have been pointing to. Once here, we will be able to observe any life situation from a much different perspective, a perspective of complete non-resistance, of utter surrender, without any longer needing to experience the pain and suffering resistance creates. Free to find a solution if a solution is needed. Free to accept life if a solution cannot be found. A complete freedom from resisting any and all outcomes. Outcomes that can only come forth in the eternal presence of the here and now within us. We long for enlightenment. We yearn to experience the aliveness in all and the eternal presence of whom we are. Then here it is, staring right at us, inviting us to come in, to experience the silent spaciousness of our eternal nature, and of the infinite self in us that is completely free from all of the mental and emotional conditioning that most are consumed by. It is up to us. We can continue being trapped in our own dream state and sink deeper into the stronghold of our own illusion of perceived separateness, or choose to free ourselves by using every opportunity life presents to fuel our own awakening, by stepping into eternity, a dimension only accessible in the here and now of the eternal self within us. We can enter into eternity right here and right now by welcoming our present thought, the current thought running through our mind in this exact moment. This is our access point. Let's allow this one thought to point us towards the spaciousness of eternity it's existing in, regardless of how intense it may feel. Let's accept this single thought as if we would have chosen it. And after this current thought ends, let's do the same with the next one. This will allow our life's personal experiences to uplift us into the enlightened ones we already are, to experience the eternal Buddha nature within us, and embody our own inherent Christ consciousness, a consciousness so at one with the eternal here and now of life that it is unaffected by the perceived separateness of the separate self in us, a separate self unable and unwilling to follow us where we are meant to go, into eternity as eternity, free to embrace our own inherent oneness, and free to align ourselves with the infinite possibilities of eternal life, unafraid to follow destiny to wherever eternity is destined to take us. Hey world, I hope these words help remind you of the eternal self in you, the infinite self within you that's ready to express itself, returning you to the infinite state of eternity where you belong. If you have enjoyed what you've heard, stay tuned for more original content. Please leave a comment, like, share, and subscribe. But most importantly, be kind. Be kind to yourself and others. Thank you.